I was like, should bring back the episode and bring something, more complete, a full episode, a full show, and obviously, bringing you the truth. Welcome to the Jul Torq podcast. Yes, I'm back finally making podcasts in English once again. It's been a while. Me and Ev been working hard on our French-Canadian podcast. We're now in the top automotive podcast in Canada, and I wanted to bring back the English version of it. I think it's the right timing, it's the right time, the right climate to bring back more independent media in the, overall in Canada, in the US, in the world. I want to reach more people, reach people in English. Well, I know a lot of you guys were asking for more content in English, so I'm bringing back the English podcast. Obviously, looking at the overall podcast in the automotive world, especially in Canada and Quebec and all that, the mainstream media dominate this market. And I feel, there's an agenda behind those media and all that. And I feel you guys deserve the truth. I think you guys deserve an independent thinking and also opinion. Sometimes, a lot of medias these days, especially in Canada, they're really financed by the government and all that, and they have some agendas to follow and push certain belief in certain ways, and I'm here to shoot it straight for you guys and bring you the truth. If there's some stuff who's literally bullshit, and if there's like some stuff that are actually good, I'm on either side. I review all type of cars, big trucks, EVs, hybrid, plug-in hybrids, everything. And I'm going to give you the honest truth, which one's going to cost you more, which one is better for you. And overall, there's no specific, one answer. I believe there's a specific car for each one of you, depending on your lifestyle and all that. So that's what I'm going to bring you on this podcast. I know I did some episode. I did maybe 5 of them, but now I'm bringing back a longer form of episode. I won't do any short, small news reviews or just a review or just news like I did before. Now I'm bringing back a new formula, and this formula is going to be basically, I'm going to talk about the news who catch my eyes during the week. And after that, I'm going to give you the reviews, the cars I was driving and testing lately. And finally, we're going to talk about lifestyle, maybe more personal stuff, on the internet, and maybe some personal stuff, projects, what's happening with all my cars and stuff like that. So each week you can basically, you got to get your news, your reviews, and lifestyle, all for the automotive world. All right, so speaking of independent news and all that, this week it's been a hell of a ride, I could say, with the election, with Trump coming on, the presidency in the U.S. It changed a lot of things in the automotive world. It changed a lot of things also in the media world. Now these days, there's like 2 camps, I could say. There's like the social media, and there's the mainstream media, the influencers, the journalists, and all that. So I'm right in the middle of all this. I could say this change will affect a lot of things in the automotive world. It affects a lot of things also in the business of the automotive business, not only for the manufacturers, not only for the dealership, but also for the aftermarket and all that. Telling you the truth, I used to do a lot of things with the aftermarket, and I used to, own Torq Army, and Torq Army kind of like slowly changed to Torq Media over the years, and especially over the last years. And I was really strong on everything. When you modify your cars, a cold air intake, exhaust, custom tunes, wheels, tires, off-road bumpers, name it. And with the previous, political views of the Democrats, it was really hard for this market to flourish, I could say, to be successful. It was getting harder and harder on this type of business, especially, racing, racetrack, the enthusiasts, the tuning communities and all that. And there were a bunch of them, they were my sponsors. And, because there was so many changes, so many new regulation and all that, those business started to struggle. And also I've been losing a lot of those sponsorship, not because I was not doing a good job. It's because their business was starting to struggle and cutting into the marketing. I think with this change now, I think, President Trump, it's a little bit easier on the regulation and all that. I do a lot of muscle cars, trucks, Hellcat and all that. I used to have a Raptor. I used to have a TRX and all that. I used to have a TRX. That's probably maybe a news for you guys in English. I'm going to get to that later on. But I'm really passionate about cars, and I wanted to bring you guys the middle ground here, to be a little bit different from, the usual reviews or the usual, I call that a walk around, just explaining the car. It's not, you won't get this here at this podcast. I'm going to give you my honest opinion, my honest feedback, what I've been testing with it. And it's basically what you're going to get with this podcast each week. Talking about news, this news, it's all about, it's one of the reason why I'm bringing back the podcast. It's not the only reason, but this news I'm going to bring you, it's not really what you can expect in future episodes. It's going to be more about cars. But today, I've seen it's been announced Canada's going to ban TikTok in Canada. This is really strange news from my point of view, especially the day after Donald Trump won the presidency. It's kind of strange for my point of view. I don't want to put my foil hat on, but from my point of view, TikTok is a strong social media. The algorithm you find on TikTok, it's really good for small businesses, creator and all that, especially here in Quebec. When I do content in French Canadian, it published this content to French Canadian around me, and I've got a decent reach for the right people. If I'm doing something in French and I'm put it on any other platform, sometimes they're gonna push it to France. And if you don't know, guys, French Canadian and French from France, it's not the same deal. And sometimes even they have a hard time to understand what we are saying in French. So they have a really good algorithm, and once you search for some stuff, it's gonna pop up again. I think TikTok still have the best algorithm. I'm not sure what they're doing with all those information. I'm not sure what if they're giving back all those information to the Chinese, but we all carry that device with us. Basically, they already know everything they have to know, and there's a secret data wars behind the scene. I'm not getting into it, but I think trying to ban TikTok in Canada, it's a really bad thing. I'm sure the mainstream media they're partially heavily financed by the government here in Canada. I think they're happy about it. They won't, cancel the app. You're going to still be able to use it as of right now. But I think they're asking TikTok Canada to close their door. So I think that will affect any content creator who were doing lives and they were receiving gifts and stuff like that. So if you were getting some kind of revenue, or if you were pushing really a product on TikTok, those people is gonna lose a lot of money. A lot of people are gonna lose their job. And also, we were waiting to get revenue here in Canada. If you don't know, the difference between a content creator in the US and a content creator in Canada, in the US, you can make money by doing some viral videos, and you're gonna get like some kind of it's not a ton of money, but still you get some money by creating videos. Here in Quebec, you can have anything. You're not able to make any money if you're not doing some kind of live show and you don't receive gift, or we didn't get the revenue for the views, and also we didn't get the shop. So everything was against us here for TikTok, and now they want to remove everything from it. So I think from my personal view of it, I learned a lot of things on TikTok. You have to, be smart, make the difference between AI, fake news, and real news, and make your own research. But I see way much more content on TikTok. I learn way much more stuff on TikTok than any other platform, especially when there's election and stuff like that happening right now. So I think these platforms are really important, and they're good for the content creator, and also to maybe have a different opinion from the mainstream media. And unfortunately, here in Canada, the media is really not neutral. It's really on one side, and I personally think we need to bring back neutral journalism and also support more the creators. So that was one of the reasons why also, I want to bring back English content, reach more people all across the globe, making content for English Canadian and also for you guys in the US. It's really important for me. Obviously, the content will be mostly focused on the North American market, Canadian stuff and US stuff. So while I'm doing my reviews and stuff like that, you're gonna get your stats for both market. Speaking of reviews, today I wanted to start it strong and talk to you about my quick review of the Ford F-150 XLT 2024. I really like the new style of the F-150 2024 with that black grille and surrounding of the headlights in the front. Really great truck, but these days, especially here in Canada, I know in the US too, it's pretty much the same case. Trucks are getting super expensive. If you haven't changed your truck for a while, maybe you were driving a Platinum or Lariat, and now for the same kind of budget or even more expensive, you can only afford an XLT. That's pretty much the case of everyone I see surrounding me, feedback I get online. So that's why I reviewed the XLT. So basically I was asking myself, do we really need all the equipment you're going to get in the Lariat, in the Platinum and all that? Because you know, these days there's a lot of equipment, a lot of technologies. But if you're old school like me and you just like a simple truck, sometimes an XLT will make the job. Giving you some stats from this review. The model I was driving is a 2024 Ford F-150 XLT FX4 4x4 Super Cruise, small box in the back. This truck is available starting price around $59,970 Canadian. In the US, it starts around $54. The model I was driving, it was around $76,000 Canadian. And if you're in the US, it's good for $58,000. You know, speaking of 76, I think when I bought my Sierra 84 fully loaded was like less expensive than that just a few years ago. So that's you know, that's the world we live in right now. Under hood, it was the V6 2.7 EcoBoost matched to the 10-speed transmission. This is good for 225 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is pretty good on power. And you know what? You know, I used to work at Ford back in the day, and you know, I've been testing all those engines, and I could say this engine, it's way better than it used to be back in the day. It gives you more power, more torque, and it doesn't feel like a base engine. It doesn't feel like you need more power. It makes the job done, I could say, and it's pretty decent. You know, performance-wise, 0 to 60, 0 to 100 kilometers, it's about 6.5 seconds. You know, handling-wise on the road, this truck is pretty comfortable. It's pretty decent, especially with the FX4 suspension. I drove an F-150 STX right before I drove the XLT, and it makes the world of difference when you're choosing the FX4. I thought the STX suspension, the base suspension, was kind of clunky, was not really stable, was moving a lot, was not really, you know, sticking to the ground, I could say. And the FX4 suspension is still comfortable, gives you more off-road capacities and all that. So that was pretty nice. You know, inside, even if there was like cloth seats and all that, it makes the job done. The big difference between the STX and the XLT, it was the seat adjustment. It was missing some adjustment in the STX, and for me, it was a big deal. You were not able to raise or lower the seat. So in that case, it was a big deal for me because I'm pretty tall. I'm 6'3", so not able to lower the seat. I feel I was like driving really high, and I was not really comfortable. So it's not a big deal for me not having the leather seats, but the just a little more optional adjustment of the seat, it makes a world of difference for your comfort, I could say. That model also had the black appearance package. There's two black appearance package. This one is with the 18 inches wheel, and the other one is with the 20s. I think the truck looks good. You know, all around, it removes all the chrome. You get also the Ford logos all blacked out. And you know, these days it's just like you don't really need those big 20 inches wheels or 22s or 24s. It just gets super expensive for your tires, especially here in Quebec right now. It's the law to change your tires for winter tires, and when you get to those big wheels, sometimes it gets super expensive to change your tires for nothing. So 18 inches wheel makes the job done. The model I was driving had the office panel option in the metal, so if you're working inside your truck, it's cool. But overall, you know, this truck makes the job done. The thing is, you know, if you don't need to tow a lot of weight and you don't need a lot of power, the power is decent with the EcoBoost. You can tow up to 8,400 pounds. Payload 1,775 pounds. Fuel economy wise, I was doing 11 liters per 100 kilometers, so it's 21 mpg for the US. A little bit better than the V8 Coyote, I could say. The V8 Coyote was a little bit more thirsty, maybe a liter or two for my Canadian friends, and maybe it was around 19 to 20 miles per gallon with the V8. At really low speed, you know, driving around the city, because the EcoBoost gives you that low torque because of the turbos and all that. It's really smooth, you know, at low speed. But obviously, when you're looking at the V8 is going to give you a little bit more power in the top end. If you want to, you know, maybe pass someone in a country road or getting up and go on the highway, the V8 is going to give you a little bit more power. But for the overall user who doesn't need to tow a lot of weight, that 2.7 liters makes the job done. But obviously, the V8 Coyote is still my favorite engine, especially if you put the supercharger on it and you transform your F-150 into a Mexican GTR. That's my favorite. So that was my quick review of the F-150 XLT. Now it's time for the lifestyle moment of the podcast. So I'm going to give you some feedback what happened in the few last months, I could say. First of all, just 3 weeks ago, my wife gave birth to our second daughter. We're really happy about it. She's really healthy. Her name is Julia. We're really happy about it. Second daughter, the other one, Eva, she's 3 now. And even if she's not acting like a 3 years old right now, because there's a baby and she wants to be the baby, but both are really healthy. Mommy is also super healthy. She's getting back on track. Yes, obviously, she's still really young. She's not back yet into the French podcast because in the other podcast, Le Torq podcast, she's my co-host, and she's also driving, testing cars, and giving her opinion in that podcast. So she should be maybe back at the end of the year, maybe for some episode, maybe more next year for her coming back into the social media world. You know, big change into the family. I used to have a Ram TRX. I used to love this truck. I wanted to make a lot of things on it, a lot of modification and all that, but no one's was really willing to really get on board on that project. Like I said, aftermarket wise, it was not the most healthy, you know, situation back then. I had a hard, you know, when I first bought the TRX, you know, I wanted to do some kind of cool project, not over the top, but just, you know, improve it there and there. But it was just that climate, like the Hellcat was such a big polluter, and it was not a good view for any new sponsors, and I felt like people are losing the passion and all that. Even, you know, telling the truth, at Stellantis, no one gave me like a good feedback. Like, oh, cool, you bought a Ram TRX. We're happy for you bought this truck. You know, usually, you know, when I'm buying a brand new truck with a manufacturer, especially, you know, I've been doing this job for almost 10 years now. You know, manufacturers are happy you're buying new stuff, and people's gonna see you driving their stuff. And for my personal point of view, you know, I don't want to sell myself, but manufacturers, you know, sometimes they should do some kind of sponsorship with us, you know, so we can embrace their brand without, you know, making any, change to our opinion and reviews. It's just such a good advertising for them when your personal car or your next project, it's their brand. I know back in the day when I used to have my Sierra IT4 and my GMC Yukon, GM Canada was really supportive of it. And they were really happy, and they were there, and they were happy. I was choosing their products as my daily driver, as the project truck and all that I was doing with it, and I didn't get that feedback from Stellantis. Obviously, Stellantis right now is not doing really well, and with Trump coming to the presidency, I think Stellantis is in a lot of trouble right now. So I felt like Hellcat was behind for Stellantis, and they didn't want to be the Hellcat, the cool guys, the Mopar guys anymore. They wanted to change their image, and I felt like I didn't get any support and all that. And for me, I'm not a big YouTuber who's making like hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. For me, buying a Ram TRX was a big deal. Was the most expensive truck I ever bought, and I was enjoying this truck daily. I love it. I was taking care of it like it was like a show truck. But overall, the family is growing and all that. We've got new project and all that. And the market was crashing. So I was worried, I wouldn't get my money back on this truck. Because when I first bought this truck, I thought, I would get some kind of my money back because I was taking care of it. And I would put some hat on, and maybe this truck would get really rare because it was the last one with the Hellcat and everything. And when I saw that the market crashing, I got a good offer for my truck, so I sold my TRX. So right now we're in between trucks, I could say. We're waiting to see what's gonna happen on the market. Not sure if I'm gonna buy back something new. I feel every new cars, every new trucks on the market right now are way overpriced. So there's no specific trucks, who's really like, wow, I just drove this truck. I just want to really buy it. Back in the day, it was the case. I was expecting a lot from the new Ford Expedition. And from my point of view, when I saw the new Expedition online and I saw it in person here, I was really disappointed. For me, it's just like a girly version of an Expedition. They did some. I feel there's some cars on the market right now. They are created, and a lot of people make decisions or from urban, places, not maybe truck guys or maybe down to earth. They're trying to make a kind of like a Range Rover out of the Expedition with a place to put your purse and the split tailgate and all the things are like girly stuff. And for me, I just wanted to have like an Expedition who works and feel like an F-150, but I can carry more people, and it's not the case anymore. So and also you're not able to get the V8, and you're not able to put a supercharger on it and make a family older Mexican GTR out of it. So for me, it's a big no. So right now we're thinking about it. Maybe something used, maybe something older. I'm not sure. More and more I'm driving those new cars with the new tech lately. I kind of fell back in love with older cars. These new cars, I drove some cars lately, specifically the Lincoln Nautilus and also the Volvo EX30. you know, there's so many electronics, so many control. The car wants to drive for you. You get some funky alert. You know, if I'm leaning a little bit, they're like, you're getting back. You get those alerts. You get those. I call them those shot of brake. He's pressing the brake to wake you up. You're not able to do anything. They're removing all the buttons and all that. I hate those kind of cars, and they're all made in China too. So I brought back the Project V10 for the ones who've been following me for a while. 2 years ago, we bought at the auction an Audi S6 V10. So this car was supposed. We tried to make it back in shape. We had some electrical problem for quite a long time. We tried to sell it back to the auction, and it didn't go through. So it came back right before we sold the TRX. So it was the perfect timing, and it was fixed right before we sold the TRX. So the problem was mainly electronic, was like the main cord between the computer and the engine. So it's been a couple of months now, putting some money and effort into that project. It's getting back in shape. I don't have a lot of issues anymore. I tried to remove a lot of the chrome. I've been changing the grill. I changed the wheels. I changed the tires. Some deep clean inside and out. Also the engine. It's got some new tail lights. I restore also the headlights. I've been doing a lot of work on this this car, and it's running great right now. And we're doing new projects also with this car. I put some fast wheels. Those are competition wheels on this car. The models are FC08. They are lightweight wheels. And for winter time, I put some new Goodyear tires. And those tires are rated to go at high speed. They're made in Germany. They have a new compound, a new tread, and all that. So I'm going to test that this summer with the Quattro, with the V10. And all of you, hopefully, I'm going to get a little bit more time and budget to put some more love into that car. It's a really difficult car to modify and to improve. Obviously, I would like to build a nice exhaust system on this car because it's cool. It's really quiet, and I would like to hear the sound of the V10. You know, a lot of people call that the Lamborghini V10, but it's now the V10. But still, for a lot of people, it sounds better to say it's a Gallardo or Huracan engine under the hood. Basically, it's the same engine as the R8 and all that, but still, I would like to really, unleash the sound of this car. I think there's four resonators, 4 cats, and 2 mufflers. So it's quite restricted, I could say. But I really enjoyed to drive this car. You know, it's quite the change for me. I used to have a Mustang heavily modified, a Raptor, the Sierra IT4, the Yukon Denali, the Ram TRX. I always have big trucks, and now I'm getting to a 4-door sedan. So it's quite the change, but it's good, not always doing the same thing. But obviously, over time, I want to get back to a pickup trucks or a big SUV. Maybe building a Mexican GTR. It's something I'm really looking into. I know it's really popular in the US. Here in Canada, it's not popular, but I'm quite influenced by the US. And building this truck with new sponsors will be maybe something I would look into. Also, buying back a Ford. Ford been quite helpful in the previous years. My next one might be a Ford. I'm not sure yet, but I'm looking online at all those Mexican GTRs, and I would maybe buy. I'm not sure. Of course, for my family, I need the Super Crew. I wouldn't be able to really do the Lightning, single cab and short bed. Obviously, those are the best looking one. They're the fastest one, but I still need something 4x4, some clearance out of it. Maybe an F-150 Tremor supercharged will be nice, but those are all the project, inside my head and all that. Maybe, with more attention, with more share, with you guys watching my content, we can bring more cool content into the podcast in English, get more support and all that. And hopefully I'm reaching out to more people globally with this podcast. Even if I stop doing some episode lately, I was watching the chart, and a lot of you guys are listening in Morocco, France, into the UAE. There's a lot of places globally. So when I watch all those numbers, still people listening to my 4 or 5 episodes, I was like, should bring back the episode and bring something, more complete, a full episode, a full show, and obviously, bringing you the truth and no bullshit here at the Jul Torq podcast. I want to give you the right thing, the right opinion. If something happened with the electric truck or electric cars I'm getting into, that's just an example. But if I had some issues recharging it, or it's more expensive to recharge it than to put fuel in it, I'm going to tell you the truth, not trying to please, the mainstream media, trying to please some kind of a sponsor or anything. I'm bringing you straight, uncensored opinion here. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we're going to see each other on the next podcast.